right. Shalom. I'm Officer George with TTIC. Shalom, Most High Christ bless. Before we get started, I'm going to read our TTIC disclaimer. TTIC, also known as Truth in Christ, is a Bible-based organization. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. We teach the Bible as it is written. We're not a hate group, nor do we teach violence. We do not condone any acts of hate or violence against any race, ethnicity, gender, and religious group. We firmly believe in abiding by the laws of the city and state. If you witness any member of TTIC committing a crime, please contact us and the proper authorities. Thank you.
All right, shalom, Most High Christ bless. Happy Sabbath to you brothers and sisters out there. Happy Sabbath to you brothers and sisters in here. All right, Most High Christ bless y'all. Today's class is the integration, the deceit behind it. Let me read it again. Integration, the deceit behind it. All right, so we're going to talk today about our people when we integrated with the people of this nation, okay? And we're going to go into a couple of things today. So everybody get yourselves prepared, get ready, because we're going to talk about some things, okay? Give me 1 second. We're ready to get started. I should have had this ready before we started. Sorry, I did not have this ready. All right, I'm almost there, guys. Give me 1 second. I had to restart this. So today's class is gonna be a heavy class about intermingling with other nations. Okay. Before we get started, let's read Daniel chapter 2 and start with verse 40 for me, Officer George, before we get started. While I'm waiting on this, read Daniel 2:40 and read on down for me, please.
The book of Daniel, chapter 2 and verse 40. It says, "And the fourth kingdom shall be strong as iron. For as much as iron breaketh in pieces, and subdueth all things, and as iron that breaketh all these, shall it break in pieces and bruise." Verse 41, "And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of polished clay, and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken."
So read that part again.
Verse 42, "And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong."
The kingdom shall be partly strong
and partly broken.
And partly broken. You see that right there? So the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. So keep on reading. Go ahead.
Verse 43. "And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another."
They shall what?
They shall not cleave one to another. Even as iron is not mixed with clay.
Even as iron is not mixed with clay. So just like iron is not mixed with clay, neither shall the nations mingle themselves together. This is an old prophecy in Daniel's, talking about right now to where we at this point of time, which is Babylon. How much more you got on there, Austin?
Verse 44.
Yeah.
And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom, which shall never be destroyed. And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So
the kingdom, God's kingdom, read that again. So we just go through it, or just read that one more time for me.
Verse 44. And in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom.
Hey, God's going to set up a kingdom. Watch this, read.
Which shall never be destroyed.
Which shall never be destroyed.
And the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
And the kingdom shall not be left to other people.
But it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms.
All these kingdoms. So when God's kingdom come, it's going to consume and it's going to break up all the kingdoms of this world. Read, watch this.
And it shall stand forever.
And God's kingdom is going to stand forever. So it's no more room for sin. Because in God's kingdom, it's only going to be righteousness.
That's right.
It's not going to be no more sin. So we're going to start off today I'm going to repeat, interrogation, the deceit behind it. The so-called white man is not going to cry for you. He did not cry for Christ. How did we know he did not cry for Christ? Because when you read John chapter 18, when Pilate had a chance to let Christ go, Pilate had a chance to make a decision, and he said, I find no fault in that man. He still ended up killing Christ. He still ended up giving in unto the people and killing the Messiah. So it says, why we fight. So the next part I wrote was why we fight so hard to be accepted of them, but we don't fight this hard for God's laws. Just a thing to put on your mind. Something that you might be able to look at. Because we fight, our people, the so-called blacks, Hispanic and Native Indians, we fight so hard to be accepted of the so-called white man.
Yeah.
But when it comes to God, when it comes to the Bible, we have no fight in us for the Bible. Not a lick as a people. Let me explain to you what I mean. Give me that Romans 10 and 2, please. We're going to start with Romans 10 and 2, and then I'm going to jump back to where we at right now. Romans 10 and 2. Watch it.
The book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 2. For I bear them record.
That
they have a zeal of God.
See, our people got a zeal of God. They got a real fever. They got a real hot spot for God. But watch this.
But not according to knowledge.
See, because when you add the knowledge in there, that's when the people fall off. That's when the people fall off. Give me knowledge, please. Give me Malachi. Hold that. Come right back. We're going to come right back to that. Watch this.
The book of Malachi, chapter 2. Right past it. Book of Malachi, chapter 2, verse 7.
Read.
For the priest's lips should keep knowledge. And they should seek the law at his mouth.
See, so they should seek the law. So now let's go back to Romans. So we know that the knowledge is referring to the what? Law. So watch this. Read it again.
This is the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 2. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God.
I bear them record that they got a zeal of God.
But not according to knowledge.
But see, not according to God's laws. Because when God's laws come into play, our people falls away. Our people don't want the laws of God. They fall away. Because the reason why is because with God's laws come discipline.
That's right.
With God's laws come discipline. Let me show you another thing. What I mean by with God's laws come discipline. Give me Ecclesiastes also. And give me Ecclesiastes. Give me 1 second. 17. Give me line. I ain't been heard in a little bit. Give me 1 second. Got myself in there. I gotta get out of it, right? I'm gonna find to give me 1 second. Just been here in a minute. Okay, let me have wow. I'm gonna tell you something. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Give me Ecclesiastes 4:17. I'll just use that. That ain't what I wanted, but I'll use that one though.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach in the Apocrypha, chapter 4, verse 17.
Go ahead.
For at the first, that she will walk with him by crooked ways,
Read.
and bring fear and dread upon him, and torment him with her discipline.
With her discipline. That's what I wanted right there. That's the word I wanted right there, but that's not the scripture I wanted. But go ahead. With torment with her discipline. Come on.
Until she may trust his soul.
Until she may trust his soul. So when you come to this truth, you got to start to develop discipline. You got to start to grasp this thing. This discipline got to be the ruler of your life. You must have it. Give me 18, Ecclesiastes 18:14. I just found it.
Book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 18, verse 14. He hath mercy on them that receive discipline.
See, he have mercy on them that receive discipline. Come on.
And that diligently seek after his justice.
You see, so we know the discipline is to deal with his laws, right? So he has mercy on them that seek. He has mercy on them that receive discipline. The laws is the discipline that we receive.
Exactly.
Okay. So God have mercy. That mercy goes into what? Grace. So God have grace on them that receive discipline. So as who gets the grace is the people who receive the discipline, which is the what? The laws. Jump over to 17, 18.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 17, verse 18. Whom being his firstborn.
Who was God's firstborn? Hold that. Give me his Exodus chapter 4, verse 22. Let's see who God's firstborn is. And then we're going to get back into the class.
The book of Exodus, chapter 4, verse 22. And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus said the Lord, Israel is my firstborn.
No, read it again.
And thou shalt say unto Pharaoh, thus said the Lord, Israel is my son.
Israel is my son.
Even my firstborn.
Even his firstborn. So let's go back to where he was. Ecclesiastes 17 and 18.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 17 and verse 18. Whom being his firstborn.
Who's his firstborn? Israel. Read.
He nourished.
He did what?
He nourishes with discipline.
So he nourished Israel with discipline. That's his laws. He gave us his laws. That was the discipline that he gave us. Once you get God's laws, you can start to control your spirit. You don't have to be a whoremonger. Now you don't have to be a thief. Now you don't have to be a murderer. Now you don't have to be a robber. Because God have gave you his discipline, his laws to control your spirit.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And giving him the light.
See, the light is talking about his laws.
Of his love.
And his commandments.
Doth not forsake you.
You see, God's not going to forsake you. It's not going to forsake you once you start to apply these things. Everybody got that? All right. So let's go back. Let's go back to where we was at first.
Daniel.
Yep. Now, Romans 10 and 2. Here we go.
The book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 2.
Read.
For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God.
See, our people have a zeal of God. Read.
But not according to knowledge.
Because they have no discipline. They have a zeal of God, but they have no discipline because they receive not the laws. That's the whole point right there. So what I read to you is why we fight so hard for them to accept us, but we don't fight this hard for God's laws. The only way you can get saved, brothers and sisters, is through the laws. Contrary of what Christian pastors say, Roman Catholic churches say, Seventh-day Adventist churches say, Jehovah's Witness churches say, a Muslim, Islam say, you only get saved through the law.
That's right.
Regardless of what you think. You can come and you can argue me with you blue in the face. Christ told me don't even waste my time with you. You know why? He said do not strive with them about the law. It's a waste of time to strive with people about God's laws. Yeah. We're not going to sit up here and argue with you about the laws. You either burn or forbear, whichever one you want to do.
That's right.
Either one you want to do, you burn or forbear. But we're not going to argue with you about the laws. So from her, let's read this real quick. This is interrogation.
Integration.
Integration. I said interrogation. Integration. Come on, man.
Integration. It says the action or process of integrating.
Okay, now go to the 1-in-1 right there.
The intermixing of people or groups previously segregated.
See, segregated. So we're going to get to the definition of segregated. So segregated, we all know that when you segregate it, this is what it means to be segregated. Give me Leviticus chapter 20 and verse, you know what I want, 25, 24. This is what it means to be segregated. Watch this.
The book of Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 24.
Yeah.
But I have said unto you, ye shall inherit their land, and I will give it unto you to possess it. a land that floweth with milk and honey.
Come on.
I am the Lord your God,
Read.
which have separated you.
Which have what?
Which have separated you.
Read.
From other people.
From other what?
From other people.
So you remember this verse right here. God said he have separated us from what? Other people. Now give me the other one. Let me make sure I didn't write it down. Yeah, I did. We will be coming back and visiting that. But go ahead and read 26. We coming back to it anyway. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. And ye shall be holy unto me.
You shall be holy unto me. So now he's going to explain it. Read.
For I, the Lord, am holy.
God is not with other nations. God did not come he made the other nations, but he did not come for the other nations.
Right.
Read.
And have severed you.
And have what?
Have severed you.
And you know what severed means? It means the same thing as separate. Like me and Officer George Arms is together right now. Now we are severed from each other. That's what it means to split us apart. The Israelites are supposed to be set apart. We're supposed to be severed from other what?
Other people.
Other people. Other nations. Come on.
And have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine.
Say that you should be who?
That ye shall be mine.
That's a possessive word. God says we're going to be his. Not everybody's.
That's right.
So the reason why is because we understand the book of where we at right now.
We're in Leviticus.
We're in Leviticus, okay. So give me Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1. Watch this.
The book of Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1.
Let's see who he's talking about.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel.
To everybody.
Speak unto the children of Israel.
Read.
And say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocation, even these are my feasts.
Even these are my feasts. Now watch this now. Hold on. Stop right there. So he's talking to the who?
The Israelites.
The children of Israel. Jump down to 44.
Verse 44. That your generations may know that I made the children of Israel.
Where you at?
It's Leviticus.
Leviticus 23 and 44. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry.
You all right?
And Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feast of the Lord.
So Moses declared unto the children of Israel the feast of the Lord. So God had, if you're not doing God's feast, then you are doing the feast of someone else.
That's right.
You're doing the feast of a little God, which is a little G. God is the big G. You're doing the feast of a little God. Come on, officer, you got something? Come on.
An idol.
An idol.
An idol. Yes.
All praises. All praises. Well said. So now what I want to do from here is let's read that definition number 1 and 1 again.
This is a definition of integration. This is the intermixing of people or groups previously segregated.
It was previously what?
Previously segregated.
Okay, so now that's the same thing I got. The integration definition. Now this is funny because this was on Google the other day. When I went to integration definition, it says the intermixing of people or a group previously segregated. Same thing we just read right there, right? Now, what I want to do is from there, I want to go to Merriam and Webster's definition of segregation. Hold on real quick. Let me come out of there. 2A. All right, there we go.
Okay, this is Merriam and Webster's definition of segregation.
Go ahead.
It's the separation or isolation of a race, class, or ethnic group by enforced or voluntary residence in a restricted area, by barriers to social intercourse, by separate educational facilities, or by other discriminatory means.
By other what?
By other discriminatory means.
So now the segregation or isolation of a race, is that not what we just read? God had us segregated from all races.
That was it.
That's the whole plan of man, was supposed to be segregated from all races.
Yep.
Because I'm going to show you something. Now, I didn't have this wrote down, but I am going to go there, because give me Genesis chapter 11, and I want to start with verse 1. I didn't have this written down, but I'm going to add this in here right now. Watch this.
The book of Genesis, chapter 11, verse 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
Read.
And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, and let us build us a city and tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth.
Read.
And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded.
Read.
And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language.
Read.
And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do.
Read.
Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language.
Let us go down and do what?
And confound their language.
Read.
That they may not understand one another's speech.
See, that's the whole point about God gave each nation their own language so they can be separate from each other. That's the whole point. So God already had the nations segregated. Who said that we're going to integrate people? That's why we went to Daniels when we first started off.
To the modern day socialists come about or whatever.
You see what I mean? It was never meant for all languages, all nationalities to be under one roof together, far as like trying to be one nation.
That's right.
You cannot mix oil and water. You cannot mix wine and water. It's going to be diluted. People like strong drink. If I put 90% water and 10% strong drink in there, 90% water and 10% Henny, are you gonna taste the Henny that much? No, you ain't gonna taste that much Henny. It ain't gonna. It's gonna be. You're gonna be very faint. You go.
Like, what is this?
Yeah, right. What is it? It's a horrible taste, and that's what the world. That's what happens to the world when they trying to mix, intermingle everybody to what? Together. And that's why we're going through this right here.
That's right.
So when the integration happened, that thing was not of God. God said for us to be holy as he was holy. The Israelites was always supposed to be separate from other nations. Why? Because other nations did not understand our laws. And neither did we understand their ways. You know what I mean? But we wanted their ways. Why? Because we was a greedy people. We wasn't happy with God being our protectors.
Right.
We rather do it like man was doing. So now watch this. Let's go back to where we was.
Back to Romans a little bit.
No, because we're going. Hold on, let me get this off here. Let's read that. Read that definition one more time. Officer George, segregation.
So the definition of segregation is the separation or isolation of a race, class, or ethnic group by enforced or voluntary residence in a restricted area, by barriers to social intercourse, by separate educational facilities, or by other discriminatory means.
Hold on, go back to, you see that other what did it say, other educational?
It said by separate educational facilities.
Facilities, that's what, educational facilities. Let's stop right there real quick. Their education of other nations is different than our education. And it might seem to y'all that what we saying, it might seem strange to y'all, but I'm going to prove it. Give me Deuteronomy 4 and start with verse 6.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 6.
While you doing that, I'm going to look for this. Keep on reading down until I'm in the wrong page. Start with 1 and read down to verse 7.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 1. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, unto the statutes and unto the judgments which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live, and go in and possess the land which the Lord God your Father, of your fathers giveth you. Ye shall not add unto the words which I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God which I command you. Your eyes have seen what the Lord did because of Baal Peor.
Baal Peor, come on.
For all the men that follow Baal Peor, the Lord thy God have destroyed them from among you.
Read.
But ye that did cleave unto the Lord your God are alive, every one of you this day. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whether ye go to possess it.
Read.
Keep therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom.
This is your wisdom.
And your understanding.
And your understanding.
In the sight of the nations.
In the what?
In the sight of the nations.
So this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. That's our wisdom and our understanding. So read, hold on, let's go read verse 5 again. Watch this.
Verse 5, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom.
This is your what?
This is your wisdom.
See, God's wisdom is wiser than man. So when we teach, yes, do our kids gotta go to college here to get a good job? Yes. They might have to go to college to get a good job here. Okay. Do we gotta go to their schools? Yes, they force us to go to their what? School, or they'll come and lock us up unless we homeschool our kids, right? So this is our but. As we educating our kids in their system, make sure you're showing your kids that this is for you to get a job. This is your real wisdom right here. This is your real understanding right here.
That's right.
Because the reason why is because if we was in Israel right now and say God let us go back to Israel before, or just say he let us go back to Israel, and the world wouldn't go in. Just say we just give it a hypothetical. So when we went back to Israel, will we be studying Esau's colleges? Will we be studying their books and stuff?
In Israel now?
If we went back to Israel and we was back in our land, will we be studying Esau's books, their college books and stuff?
Well, it depends.
No, we would not. We would not, because we'll be back in our own what?
Our own land.
So why would we need Esau's?
Okay.
We wouldn't need their stuff. we wouldn't be studying their stuff in our land. Why would we? We wouldn't need none of their stuff because you got to remember, we back in our what?
In our land.
Now, what did God just say that this would be our what?
And be our
wisdom.
Be our wisdom and understanding.
Right. So that's why we would not be studying dirt. You got to remember. Let's go to 1 Corinthians real quick. Let's go to 1 Corinthians real quick. 1:21.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 1, and verse 21. For after that, in the wisdom of God, the world by wisdom knew not God.
They knew not God.
It pleased God by the foolishness of preaching to save them that believe.
No, it's over verse 20, my bad.
Verse 20. It says, where is the wise? Where is the scribe?
Read.
Where is the disputer of this world?
Come on.
Have not God made foolish the wisdom of this world?
That's what I wanted right there. Have God made foolish the wisdom? So why would we take that garbage? You remember Ecclesiastes 5:1 says, keep thy foot when you come to the God's house. Be real ready to what? Listen, then give the what? Sacrifice of a fool. So we would not bring foolish knowledge into our country. You understand what I mean?
Right.
We wouldn't bring that foolish knowledge, because if we went back into our country, where we was just hypothetically saying, when we went back to our country, who would be ruling the world?
That we would.
See what I mean? So everybody wouldn't be speaking. We wouldn't be speaking English no more. We'll go back to whatever Hebrew we was what?
We was speaking.
You see what I mean? So we wouldn't be following the same thing as.
Right.
That's I'm just making an example. Example of that. So now watch this. With that, give me Esther in the Apocrypha. Esther. I want verse 2. I want chapter 13, and I want verse 4. Watch this.
13 and 4.
Yeah, to end what I was saying.
The book of Esther, chapter 13 and verse 4. Declare unto us that in all nations throughout the world there was scattered a certain malicious people. So
it was scattered a certain malicious people. Watch this, come on.
That had laws.
That had what?
That had laws.
That had laws.
Contrary to all nations. And continually despise the commandments of kings.
And so when it says there was scattered a certain malicious people, that's a spiteful people. Okay, I want y'all to understand it. A spiteful people, and that the law that had what? They had laws what?
That had laws contrary to all nations.
Had laws contrary to all nations. So their laws was contrary to all nations. Read.
And continually despise the commandments of kings.
And they continually despise the commandment of kings. Read.
So as the uniting of our kingdoms, honorably intended by us, cannot go forward.
Because of who? Because of Israel. Watch this. Read verse 5.
Seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men.
Hold on. These people are what?
Seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all men.
Opposition means what? Opposite.
Opposite.
They opposite of all what? People.
All men.
Watch this. Come on.
It says, differing in the strange manner of their laws.
Differing in the strange manners of their laws. So we wouldn't be worried about no garbage, but it was just hypothetically. That's why I said hypothetically. We wouldn't be worried about what United States is talking about.
Right.
We wouldn't be, because why? We would be in our land doing our laws. So we wouldn't worry about their language. We wouldn't worry about their laws. We wouldn't worry about their lives, but we have to, because right now we over here in the United what?
Yeah,
and we over here in the United States of America. Right. United States of America. Read, come on.
It says, differing in the strange manner of their laws and evil affected to our state.
See, it's evil affected to our state. Read.
Working all the mischiefs they can, that our kingdom may not be firmly established.
You see that thing right there? So you see, by us in our laws, we shut down other people from ruling. They cannot rule. Only time they can rule is when we not in our laws. Like, what is that? What's that? What am I looking for?
In Judith.
Judith, give me that. Judith 5.
This is the book of Judith, chapter 5 and verse 20. It says, now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their God, let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
So go up and fight against those people. Go up and fight against them. We can overcome them. Read.
And let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
And we see we're going to beat their butts. We're going to kill them off. Watch this. Come on.
But,
what on a but?
If there be no iniquity in their nation.
But, that but's a big but. But, if they not sinning, read.
Let my Lord now pass by.
Why?
Lest their Lord defend them.
Because their God is going to defend them. Their Lord is talking about right there. It's talking about Christ. Christ is going to be that defending angel for us.
That's right.
Watch this, read.
And their God before them. And we become a reproach.
We become a reproach, a disapproval
before all the world.
Before all the world. So don't get it twisted, brothers and sisters. The laws that so God never wanted us to be integrated. Mm-hmm. He always wanted us to be separated. But that's why United States, that's why they go all the way back until that's why God called them the Chinese, the Assyrians. He calls them different names through the Bible. The reason why he does that is because they take a little bit from what each nation done when we was in their captivity, and all of what they done to us is right here in this captivity, right now. All of it. So we are, right now, we living in all captivities in one.
In one. Wow.
So that's why they got us in sin. They knew exactly what caught our eyes. From the sports to the wanting to be around other people, to wanting to be accepted of people, other people, to the want of being governed like other people was being governed.
Yep.
That we desired all those things, and United States studied us. They studied us. Go ahead, officer.
And they gave us everything we desired.
They gave us everything we desired. And that's why when they shoot us down, when the police shoot us down, we cry like babies because we said, did we give in to y'all?
Oh, wow. I've seen that. Yeah. So we praise you, God.
We'll praise your God.
We did your Christmases and Easters. We did all.
And you still shooting us down.
Man, wow.
But that goes to where we going to next. Give me Jeremiah chapter.
Man.
Give me Jeremiah chapter 8. Thank you, officers, for helping me set that up. Because that's going right where we at. Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 11. Watch this.
Book of Jeremiah. Chapter 8, verse 11.
Uh-huh.
And it reads, it says, for they have healed the hurt of the daughters of my people.
So they healed the hurt of the daughters of my people.
Slightly.
Saying,
peace, peace, when there is no peace.
So they gave us food stamps. They gave us Section 8. They gave us low-income houses. They gave us baby food. They gave us formulas. They gave us free lunch lines.
Yep.
They gave us free cheese lines.
Wow.
So they healed the hurt of the daughters of my people slightly. You notice he said slightly? When you do something slightly, what is it? It's just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, ain't a lot.
Ain't a lot.
Just slight. But we got excited about that though.
Yes. Yes.
Free government cheese, powdered milk.
those lunch boxes. You remember those free lunch boxes down at the ports?
Yes, sir. Sure did.
Yeah, people was excited about those things. Like they really, bro, the only reason you was starving because they was not feeding you. You couldn't get the jobs because all they people had the jobs.
Man. So, free lunches and the bologna had pork in.
And they weren't educating us properly.
No.
According to this nation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And no, we cannot pull up our bootstraps. We cannot sit back and say, because every child, every black child, and every black child, every Hispanic child, and every Native Indian child, everybody is different when it comes to learning. Everybody got a different learning curve. Some people might get some things. Some people won't get some things.
And it seems like, too, just, I don't know if it's in our DNA, I would say spirit, because of the fact that I can remember it wasn't so much that we was incapable of learning, but how could I be interested in Napoleon? He wasn't my people. If I was reading the history books and if they had illustrations of certain great men of that culture, then it wasn't too interesting.
Right.
Because I'm looking at somebody that don't even look like me.
Right. Well, see, that's because you woke now. But when we was back in that time when you was going to school, you didn't know that. So what you did, though, even though you weren't interested, you might have not have been interested in it. Right. But the whole point, it might have been somebody else interested in it, right? That was black, right? And this is the point you got to understand. All that knowledge they was giving us was worthless anyway.
Yeah.
Because most of it was lying history.
Lying history, because now we know.
Now we know.
They even, that iconoclasm went a long way.
Yes.
Because a lot of the people that they were talking about was us, was the Israelites.
There you go.
And then they did it in the movies. They portrayed themselves, the Edomites, and put their look.
Put their look on our actions, icons and our actions, like the 300. Them was us, so they put their face on our men that was doing those acts at that time. You know what I mean? It's the Knights of the Round Table. They put their face on those men that was doing those acts at that time.
Right.
So, you know, that's what we was talking about. But watch this. Read that one more time for me. Shalom, sis. Read that one more time for me.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 8, verse 11.
Come on.
It says, for they have healed the hurt of the daughters of my people.
For they healed the hurt of the daughter of my people.
Slightly. Saying, peace, peace. When there is no peace.
See, so they gave us these things that supposedly to heal our people. They gave us these things that supposedly heal our people. And then what after they got through abusing us, after they got through putting us through hardship of slavery, Now they're going to put us through a mental trial. They hit us with the physical.
Yeah.
They beat us. They hung us. They raped us. They robbed us of everything that we had. Now we're going to put you through the mental test. Now we're going to drain you mentally and make you hook onto us. Make you latch onto us. Yeah. What did I look up last night on our Clubhouse? What was it I looked up in 1968 is when the first what? Do anybody remember?
1968.
I looked it up last night.
On the Clubhouse.
1968. It was the first. Goodness, I can't really not remember what it. 1968. Because remember I looked it up to see when the first. It was the first time something came around, and it was right when after Martin Luther King and hold on now, because I said something about Fred Hampton.
We were speaking of Fred Hampton.
Fred Hampton, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and what was the other young man from California? Huey Newton.
Check the Bible, wasn't it?
The NIV Bible. Thank you. When the NIV Bible, thank you. When the NIV Bible came out was 1978.
Something like that.
1978 is when the NIV came out. But they was already working on it prior years.
Oh, yeah.
So we was discussing this on our Clubhouse last night. And the reason why I'm going here now is because listen to what we're saying. In 1978, they already made the NIV. You got to remember, in 1968, they killed Fred Hampton. In 1968, they killed Martin Luther King. And I believe in what was it when Fred Hampton, 68, Martin Luther King, 68, Malcolm X is 66.
When did Huey?
And Huey Newton, it was like 2 years after Fred Hampton. He was the leader. He was the overall leader of the Black Panthers. You remember, Fred Hampton was the leader of the section of Chicago. Huey Newton was in Los Angeles.
Okay.
He was the head. He was the main person. So they killed him. Also, I believe it. Don't quote me on those dates. Officially, I know didn't Martin Luther King die in 68?
Around 68.
I think, and I know Fred Hampton died in 68. But Malcolm X, I think is 66. If I'm not mistaken, because even when I watched the movie with him, Muhammad Ali, and what was the running back name?
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, and the other guy, when they was all in that movie.
Fred Williamson.
No, it was the singer.
It was the singer? Isaac Hayes.
No. It was a little dude. Sam Cooke.
Oh, okay.
Sam Cooke. You know, they all hung around with each other. So that was 65.
Okay.
In 66, Malcolm X got assassinated in the February, in the first early part of 66. All right? Because Sam Cooke killed himself.
Mm-hmm.
In 65, I believe, Malcolm X got assassinated in 66. Then Martin Luther King in 68 and Fred Hampton in 68. And then Huey Newton in 1970. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is read that again. Watch this. Come on.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 8 and verse 11. For they have healed the hurt of the daughters of my people slightly.
Stop. Because I forgot. Also, I don't know what time was it. Somebody look up for me the riots in L.A. Somebody look it up for me. The riots in L.A. And also I need, look on your phone. I need when your boy Rodney King got beat. When he got beat. I need when Rodney King got beat. Give me the riots in L.A. I forgot when them was. Just call it out. What is it? Just give me the year.
When did Rodney King get beat?
Here's information from Wikipedia.
Let me see. Okay, that was 1991, so it wasn't Rodney King. I don't need him then. The Watts riots in L.A. All right, 1965. 1965 is when the Watts riots happened in L.A. So y'all got to remember, all this is related right here. The reason why I'm showing you this, it says, for they have healed the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying peace, peace, when there was no peace. So they was killing all these men, but they was giving us food stamps. They was killing these men. They was giving us low income housing. They was killing these men. They was giving us Section 8. And they were saying peace. Peace. Who was the president did that? You know what I'm talking about? Nixon. Peace. At the same time, the FBI, J. Hoover.
J. Edgar Hoover.
Okay, something like that. You don't know if you ripped that or not, because one of us ripped it. I don't think it was me. J. Something Hoover. J. Something. I don't care if he's J.R. Hoover. Whoever he was, you got to remember at that time, Hoover he said the worst thing can happen is if black people unite together. And if y'all ever remember in the Fred Hampton movie, he told that white FBI agent, he said, you're gonna go home, it's gonna be a nigger laying with your daughter.
Yeah.
And that's what he told him. So y'all be forgetting these things that have happened to our people. And that's why we're here to remind you of these things. Because Esau, the so-called white man, wants you to forget about those things. Mm-hmm. He don't want you to remember those things. He wants you to say, see, we good now.
Yeah.
We buddies now. But why is people still dying? Why people still getting choked in the middle of the street? Mm-hmm. Why brothers is dying with a knee on their neck? Why? And now God is so good. God is good. Like they say in the Christian saying, God, he is good. But the difference is, let me show you something. He's starting to make black police be targeted by these white police. Black police, I wish we had the film thing working where I can show you the black cop that got pulled over by two white cops. Yeah. And he's suing the police for them pulling him over and calling him names. And there was another black cop that went through the same exact thing. Now they're starting to feel the pain. Mm-hmm. Because their white counterparts is showing them, even though you got a badge, you just an N-word with a badge. That's what they showing them. So let's read that again, because I'm not through with that. Come on.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 8, verse 11. For they have healed the hurt of the daughters of my people slightly.
Saying what?
Saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace.
You see, there's no peace even if you're a police officer. Even if you fight in the army, is no peace. Because you know how many people got killed? Black men that got killed out there in the field by friendly fire. No, it was not friendly fire. It was another white man that hated the black man, called him a nigger, and he shot him down. You best believe it. You best believe it. Am I saying all white people are that bad? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it at all. But what I'm telling you is that the Bible says that in the mind of every one of them is deep. That's what God says. So who am I going to believe? Am I going to believe God or am I going to believe man?
We have to obey God rather than man.
You damn right we're going to obey God rather than man. So you can't tell me every last one of them got that thought. Is some better than the other? Let's see what Wisdom of Solomon said. Give me Wisdom of Solomon chapter 15. Give me Wisdom of Solomon chapter 15, verse 18.
Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, verse 18.
Come on.
Yea, they worship those beasts also that are most hateful.
That beast most hateful is the United States of America, talking about the white man, the so-called white man. That's the beast that he's talking about. You got to remember in Revelation, hold that real quick. Give me Revelation 12 because I got to explain to everybody so they can understand what it's talking about. Give me Revelation 12. Watch this. Revelation 12 and start with verse 13.
The book of Revelation, chapter 12, verse 13.
Go on.
And when the dragon saw that he was cast out into the earth, he persecuted the woman.
He persecuted the woman.
Which brought forth the man-child. It says, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
Revelation 13 and 1. 13 and 1, officer, right here.
Oh, wow.
Revelation 13 and 1.
I seen that 13. Book of Revelation, chapter 13 and 1.
Read.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy.
The name of what?
Of blasphemy.
So now let's see who that dragon is. Go to verse 3, 12 and 3.
You say verse
12, Revelation 12, verse 3.
12, verse 3. It says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon.
A great red dragon.
Having 7 heads.
Having 7 heads.
And 10 horns.
And 10 horns.
And 7 crowns upon his head.
Read.
And his tail drew the 3rd part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman.
And the dragon stood before the woman.
Which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born.
Who was ready to devour the child when he was born? That is going into Christ. Herod was going to kill Christ soon as he was what? Born. So that lets you know that dragon is talking about a man. It's not talking about a big dragon with 7 heads. No.
Right.
That's a fairy tale story. No, this is talking about a man right here. All right. So now with that being said, why did I go there? Go back to Wisdom of Solomon. Watch this. Here it goes. And the reason why I went with the 13 and 1 first is to show you that beast is talking about, hold on real quick. Give me Ecclesiastes 3 and 18. Ecclesiastes 3 and 18. Let me show you that just in case that didn't show you, I know this will show you. Give me Ecclesiastes 3 and 18, please.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verse 18. I said in mine heart, concerning the estate of the sons of men.
It's concerning the estates of the sons of men.
That God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts.
See, that they are beasts. So men are considered beasts as well in the Bible. Okay? You got to know when to discern that. That's why you need a teacher. You can't go around saying everything saying beast is a man. No, but right there, this is talking about a man when it says Revelation 13 and 1. That beast is talking about a man. And also in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, verse 18. Let's see what it's talking about. Watch this.
The book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 15, verse 18. Yea, they worship those beasts.
Men.
Also that are most hateful.
Read.
For being compared together.
Some
are worse than others.
See, that's the point I wanted to go into, because some people will say, well, man, I know this white guy. I know this white girl. They really nice, man. They cool people, man. They love black people. But see, right here, God says some are worse than others. Some is going to be, they might be able to tolerate you more than another one might be able to tolerate you.
Yep.
For a period of time.
I've experienced that.
Everybody has.
Yeah.
But what you got to realize is the Bible is saying that, not Mark. I'm not saying that.
Right.
God is saying that.
Thousands of years ago.
Thousands of years ago before we even was born. God already said that. So when we was explaining to you, the reason why I went here is because it says for the hurt of let's go back to Jeremiah 8 and 11. One more time. This is the last time. I said it the last time. Yeah. Go ahead, back one more time.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 8, verse 11. It says, for they have healed the hurt of the daughters of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no...
See, so it's no peace in this thing, guys. It's no peace in this world. I don't care how you think somebody's cool. It's not, they not cool. I don't care how much you think that somebody, well, he helped me, he paid my bills, or he gave me this. This is their kingdom. Their kingdom They got the money in their kingdom. Just like when we ruled, we had the money. They got the money in their kingdom. This is their kingdom. This is their opportunity to have the big money. And let me tell you something. If you blind as hell, you just blind as hell. Because when you really do the percentage of it, over 35%, and it might be more. I'm just using my own percentage. Because I'm not saying a scripture in the Bible. I'm using percentage in the world. Over 35%, and it's probably way more, is millionaires in the white people community. I'm going to say over 35%. Yeah. And then you got another 40% of them, which is middle class. Meaning they got more than $100,000 in their bank account. Do you agree with that or not?
Oh, heck yeah. They got millionaires. Most people think that they would be known. They got millionaires we don't even know about. People just got millions.
And you don't know about it.
And they may not, a lot of them may not be living like we think. Some of them live pretty mediocre.
They were wranglers and buddies. Yeah. And you don't even know that they millionaires. You don't even
know they millionaires.
You see what I mean?
Because the stock markets and stuff, all that was passed down from the time we were slaves. We was the first commodities on the stock markets. Mm-hmm. So what was that saying? They talk about old money. Mm-hmm. So the white folks got old money because that money was passed down, it was trickled down to all them families. That's where the millions come from.
It's no way when you living in your own, this is your world, this is your kingdom. Everybody, if you blind, everybody knows the white man rule. Let's break down the so-called white man. The white man is the Russians, the Germans, the French, the Spaniards. They the South American. South America. They the South Africans. They all these people are the so-called white man. Yeah. It don't matter how the Canadians, the Swedish, all them. It's the so-called white man. So when you thinking I'm throwing a number out, that's absurd. It's not. Because they rule a lot of big countries. And in those countries, it's not a lot of broke people in those countries. Is it some broke people? Yes. We're not saying that it's not some of them that is not broke. I'm just showing you that I'm going to say 65 to 70% of they people is living good. And if some of them struggle, it's because they live above their what?
They mean.
Come on.
Something that happens. Hell, their faces on their money.
Their faces is on their money. Hey, what was that in Eddie Murphy? What was that movie, Eddie Murphy? No, when he came here and met the girl from Queens. Coming to America. You remember when Eddie Murphy was playing himself in City Hall? It said that he got it. No, your boy used to play on Good Times.
The daddy.
The daddy. He said he got his own face on his own money. They said he got his own money.
He ain't seen nothing like that.
He ain't seen nothing like that. So these people got their own face on their own money. And y'all think they broke? What the hell is wrong with y'all? Black folks only see what black folks want to see.
Yeah, yeah. You
think about it, it's 2022. A lot of black people have made it up into middle class. From 1980 to now. There's a lot of black people that made it up into middle class. The reason why that is, guys, because you got to think about it. And as y'all black folks have made it up to the middle class, like George Jefferson, right? Like George Jefferson was rich. He owned 7 cleaners at that time. And at that time, he was rich because he was worth every bit over $500,000, $600,000. So he was rich, right? At that time, because you got to remember the economy at that time wasn't like it is now. So at that time, we were still paying, that was 70 something. So we were still paying 25 cents for gas. George Jefferson was worth over $500,000 to $600,000. That's rich. Put that in today's numbers. George Jefferson was worth over $10 million in today's numbers.
If not more.
If not more.
Yeah, because he was showing, and even you said something that I didn't realize, the magic of being rich. You said he didn't have only one cleaners. You said he had 7.
He had 7 cleaners.
So it's like franchises. You don't get rich on one McDonald's. You get rich on having about 7 mothers.
There you go. The more McDonald's you have, the more income you got coming. So now let's get back to the brother, because I wanted, I wanted to hit that thought, because what I was saying was because our people have made it up to the middle class, right? Mm-hmm. So now let me give y'all some understanding. The black man have made it up to the middle class, but you best to believe, what did y'all think? Did y'all think that the white man stayed where he was at? If the white man was in middle class, where's the white man at now? If we went from low class to middle class, where did if the white man went from middle class, where did he go at?
Man, he went further.
He went up. He went up. So black folks is sitting around talking, yeah, we're in middle class. Bruh, it's 2022. What the hell wrong with you? You should be in middle class.
Because, we thought it was something that multimillionaire. Now they becoming billionaires.
Bruh, they are billionaires. And you remember when the list of billionaires used to, it wasn't even that many.
No.
If you look right back, it wasn't that many billionaires.
No.
Now it's multi-billionaires. And y'all say, well, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, Jay-Z, what's his name, the other rapper, Kanye West. Let me tell y'all something, brothers. Let me tell y'all something. They gotta put a sprinkle. Read that again for me. Read that again for me. Watch this. Read it again. Watch this.
Jeremiah 8 and verse 11. For they have healed the hurt of the daughters of my people slightly.
What they say?
Slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace.
So they gave some of us billions of dollars. They healed the hurt of the daughters of my people slightly. So they gave a couple of us $1 billion. They made a couple of us millionaires. They made a couple of us middle class. Now, hey, let me ask y'all a question. Why y'all black folks still marching Black Lives Matter? Why y'all still marching and saying Black Lives Matter? Why the NBA player can be called a nigger by the owner? And the owner, they give him a little, they give him, even if he had to sell his team, he still made millions of dollars.
He got mega bucks. So that's why Jesse Jackson came. Remember when his slogan, keep hope alive. Remember that?
We just trying to give y'all a heads up, an understanding of what's going on. So I'm going to move on, because we've been at this scripture for like, how long? About 30 minutes? Maybe 40. I can't help it. I like it. Give me Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. No, before we go to Revelation 12:14, I'm sorry. Revelation 12:14, then Daniel 7:25. Watch this. Revelation chapter 12, verse 14. To go along with Jeremiah 8 and 11. Read what you got.
The book of Revelation chapter 12, verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings.
The woman is talking about Israel. The woman was given two wings. Let me explain to you, it's the woman. Read Revelation 12 and 1 real quick for me also.
The book of Revelation chapter 12, verse 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet. The sun and the moon represents light. The commandments is a light. The commandments is a lamp, and the law is a light. It's Proverbs 6 and 23. All right. The commandment is a lamp, and the law is a light. Watch this. Read. And the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.
And the 12 stars represent the 12 tribes of Israel. So this same woman right here, go to verse 14. Watch this.
Verse 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle.
Read.
That she might fly into the wilderness.
That fly in the wilderness, read.
Into our place.
Into our places right here in America. Watch this, read.
Where she is nourished.
Where she is what?
Nourished.
Where she is nourished. You know what nourishing means? Taken care of. You had to be taken care of. That's why it says they healed the Lord have mercy. I can't remember a scripture from right. Just
where they healed the hurt of
the hurt of the daughter of our people slightly, saying peace, peace, where there is no peace. So that's we was nourished by these people. Read.
It says where she is nourished for a time.
A time is 100 years.
And times
is 200 years. So 100 years plus 200 years, that's 300 years. Read.
And a half a time.
And a half a, that's 350 years.
From the face of the surface.
That's when we started to wake up in like around 1960 to 1970 is how long, as 350 years we started to wake up as Israel. That's how long that we was nourished by the face of the dragon. Let me ask y'all a question. Where did you see a dragon raising us up when we was over in slavery? Where was the dragon behind us with a whip? Stop it, boy. Stop it. You didn't know. It was the so-called white man. That's who is representing the dragon right there. They took care of us for a times 350 years and a half a time. Let's prove it. Give me Daniel chapter 7, verse 25. Let's see, was that now this same scripture we just read is right here in Daniel. Watch this.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 25.
Read.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
Start with 24, because that's perfect. Watch this.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 24. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom.
And the 10 horns out of this kingdom. The 10 horns represent what? The dragon, brothers and sisters. Read.
Then the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings.
10 kings.
That shall arise. And another shall arise after them.
That's talking about the UN, brothers and sisters. Read.
And he shall be diverse.
He shall be different
from the first.
From the first is talking about Rome. He's going to be different from Rome. Read.
And he shall subdue 3 kings.
And he shall subdue 3 kings. Come on.
And he shall speak great words against the Most High.
So he's going to seduce 3 kings. And he's going to speak great words against the Most High. Watch this.
And shall wear out the saints.
As he shall wear out the what?
He shall wear out the saints of the Most High.
Read.
And think to change times.
He think to change times.
And laws.
And think to change times and laws. Read.
And they shall be given into his hands until a time.
And they shall be given into his hands to a what?
Until a time.
Time 100 years.
And time.
300 years.
And the dividing of time.
And a half a year. 350 years. That's the same exact thing in Revelation 12.
That's right.
14. That is right here. So right here, it shows you that it's a man. Right here, it shows you that it's a man. It's not a dragon. So we was given into their hands for 350 years. That's approximately, when you look at it, that's approximately when we started waking up. It was after emancipation. It was after that. We started to wake what? Started to wake up. It was like 100 years after emancipation. We started to wake up. After we was emancipated. Right?
Yep.
All right. So from there, Officer George, give me Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. Read.
In hunger.
In hunger.
And in thirst.
And thirst.
And in nakedness.
And nakedness.
and in the want of all things.
Hold on. So now this is also going into that dragon that was nourishing us, which was a man that was nourishing us. This is the same what?
The same man.
Same man. Read it one more time for me, officer.
The book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 in verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Therefore shall you serve your enemies.
Which the Lord shall send against
which
thee.
God shall send against you.
In hunger.
In hunger.
And in thirst.
And in thirst.
And in nakedness.
And nakedness. And that hunger is talking about food. We had to depend on them for food. You right now today, you still got to depend on your slave master for the food. If the slave master don't feed you, we all starve. If the white man don't go, if he don't have slaughterhouses, if he don't have bakeries, if he don't have animals or farmland, we die. That's why it says the Lord that he would read it again one more time.
And therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies.
You should serve your enemies, meaning you will have to work for them. You will have to obey them. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee. In hunger.
You have to go to work to feed your family. You have to go to work. You have to serve them in food. Read.
And in thirst.
In thirst. You have to go to work to feed your family, for your family also to have water. Water is not free. We got to pay for our water.
Yep.
Read.
And in nakedness.
In nakedness, the clothes that we put on our back, we got to serve our enemies for that.
Yep.
Read.
In want of all things.
If you want a credit card, a birth certificate, a marriage license, a social security card, if you want to put a swimming pool in your backyard, if you want to collect rainwater, you gotta go to the white man. It's no black people over here telling you, hey bro, you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do this. They not making the rules. You going to the so-called white man. Mm-hmm. That's who makes all the rules here in America. Read, watch this. Is that it?
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. And
hold on. He. Read that again. And he. Yeah.
Shall put a yoke of iron on thy neck.
Read.
Until he hath destroyed.
So he put a yoke of iron. This same man that nourished us for all those years when we was over here, he nourished us with ropes and chains on our what? Necks. Shackles on, you remember that old song, Shackles on My Feet? How the hell do we make songs about us as slaves? Boy, shackles on our feet.
With bracelets, it was shackles.
You see what I mean? This thing is crazy, man. So it says, and they should put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed us. So they destroyed us physically. When we first started off, I was talking about this. Yeah. And then after they destroyed us physically, they destroyed us mentally. Now, you brothers and sisters, I hope y'all brothers and sisters is listening to this class today. Because now we have showed you physical. Now we're ready to get into the mental. All right, y'all ready? Watch this. Let me read this real quick because I always write myself a little note so I can put myself on the path. So we had to obey everything they said, right? Yep. And I'm gonna give you some of the things, the reason why. If y'all brothers knew, if y'all familiar with this book, this is called the Willy Lynch letter. All right, it's the Willy Lynch letter and the making of slaves. I'm gonna let you see it up close. The Willy Lynch letter and the makings of slaves. I hope y'all brothers and sisters, because this book right here, they used on us. I want to start off, Officer George, with, let me see it real quick. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have handed it to you yet. All right, I want to start right here. I want to read this, and then I want to read this right here. All right.
Okay, this is the book of like you said, the Willy Lynch letters and the making of a slave. This speech was delivered by Willy Lynch on the banks of the James River in the colony of Virginia in 1712. Lynch was a British slave owner in the West Indies. He was invited to the colony of Virginia in 1712 to teach his methods to slave owners there. The term lynching is derived from his last name. Greetings, gentlemen. I greet you here on the banks of the James River in the year of our Lord, 1017 and 12. First, I shall thank you, the gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I am here to help you solve some of your problems with the slaves.
So he said, I'm here to help you solve some of your problems with the slave. Go ahead.
Your invitation reached me on my modest plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still the oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. As our boat sails south on the James River, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. Not unique. Well,
no, read it. Go back up and read named our what?
It says, as our boat sails south on the James River, named for our illustrious king, whose version of the Bible we cherish.
Whose version of the Bible we cherish? Whose version of the Bible not God's version of the Bible. Scoot down a little bit, officer. Not God's version of the Bible, but our Bible we cherish. Down a little bit more. There you go. All right, go ahead. Go ahead, read from her.
I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highways in great numbers. You are here using the tree.
Hold on. Roman used what?
It says, and while Rome used cords of wood.
While Roman used cords of wood
as crosses.
As crosses.
For standing human bodies along its highway.
Ain't that how Christ died?
Yep.
And he died by the hands of Romans. So he's telling you he was studying how Romans did us back then. That's how he came up with this thing. Watch this, read.
It says, for standing human bodies along its highways in great numbers. You are here using the trees and the ropes on occasions.
Hold on, he said you are here what?
He says you are here using the trees and the ropes on occasion.
Hold on, watch real quick. Give me Acts chapter 5, verse 31, officer. Watch this. Give me Acts chapter 5, verse 31. So he is telling you, man, that he's telling you, Willy Lynch is letting you know that we use the trees just like they did in Rome to hang the people. Watch what they say about Christ.
This is the book of Acts, chapter 5, verse 31. Him hath God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior for the gift.
30. I'm sorry.
30. Okay. 30. It's right above it. The God of our fathers raised up Jesus, whom ye slew and hanged on a tree.
Whom you slew and hanged on a tree.
Him hath God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sin.
Stop. Did Willy Lynch knew that Christ was a what? Yeah. Black man. Because he knew the people that he was hanging on trees was what? Negroes. Wow. That just came out. Let's go back to where we was. Go back, read that again, Officer George. Lord have mercy.
And he says, while Rome used cords of wood.
Who killed Christ? The Romans. Read.
So while Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highways in great numbers. You are here using the tree.
I'm glad he said that, because that's another illustration that Christ was not in Christianity. Y'all think Christ was the only one hung on a tree.
That's right.
Rome had hundreds of people down on a road hung on the same crosses Christ was hung on. Read.
It says, in great numbers, you are using the tree and the rope on occasions. It says, I caught the whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree. a couple of miles back. You are not only using valuable, you are not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you are having uprisings, slaves and runaways. Slaves are runaways. Your crops are sometimes left in the fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires.
You suffer occasional fires and what?
And your animals are killed.
And your animals are killed. So now we're going to go to page 5. So the Willy Lynch letter, man, when you really read it, you can really learn something. All right, but watch this verse, page 5 for me. I'm going to go 5 through...
So I'm on 5. That was the last of 5.
Okay, 5. We keep on going. We're going to go through 7.
Gentlemen, you know of what... He says, gentlemen, you know what your problems are? I do not need to elaborate. I'm not here to enumerate your problems. I'm here to introduce you to a method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method of controlling your black slave.
Controlling your what?
Controlling your black slave.
See, he said I got a foolproof method of controlling your black slaves. Was there any other slaves there?
There was no other slaves there.
So he's letting you know that it was black slaves.
That's right.
So it was not no Japanese there. It was not no Chinese there. It wasn't no Arabs there. We was the only one, and it was not no African Americans. It wasn't no Africans there because he said black slaves.
With no Irish slaves.
Right.
I was trying to say.
Come on.
I guarantee every one of you that if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years.
Installed correctly, it would control the slaves for how long?
At least 300 years.
Now go back to where we was at the beginning, because I just wanted to see what year did this publish? Did he say it?
Well,
1712. Okay, so 300 years is what? 2012. So he knew what he was saying. Because right now, we are still living off this right now. Y'all gonna learn today. Watch how we still living off of it. Watch this, read.
It says, I have a full, let's see. This method, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Any member of your family or your overseers can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves. And I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes.
Stop. You see that? He said I use what? Read the first one.
He says, and I take these differences.
So he'll take the differences. Now, let me show y'all something, brothers and sisters. Right now, this is how y'all act in today's society. He said, I'm going to take the differences. Now, read them slow. Watch this. Read the first one.
Okay.
I would take differences and
make them bigger.
And make them what?
And make them bigger.
I'm going to show y'all something. This is a small difference. Like you have one black person, they have a wide nose. And then you have another black person, they don't have a wide nose. So the wide nose, the one with not the wide nose, he will be throwing jokes on the wide nose brother. Mm-hmm. Or you have a brother with big ears or pointed ears, and then they'll make jokes upon the brother that that has those pointed ears. He's taking differences. Like, I'll give you another.
Big lips.
Big lips. Give you another example. He's ready to say it. Watch this. Come on. Read.
I use fear.
I use fear. Oh, no, he used fear. What is fear? Here go the fear. He used fear. He's talking about he used fear. But I'm not going to get into that one. Go ahead and read.
Distrust.
Distrust. How do they put distrust between the black man and the black woman? How they put distrust between the black man and black woman? Or the black man and black man. How they put distrust? It could be a man looking at your woman. It could be you bigger, one man bigger than another. You distrust somebody because you feel like he'll make the house nigga treat him good, give him extra food and things. So the slaves outside think that he is getting more benefits than what? Than the others.
I'll make him a telltale.
And puts distrust between them. Come on.
And envy.
And what?
And envy.
So that will cause jealousy right there. That envy will cause jealousy. I'm going to give you another thing. Like our people will be like, they'll put the light skinned person against a dark skinned person. We're going to get into that. That's coming up in this. But I'm bringing it out first because the reason why is like me and George. Officer George is a little lighter than me and I'm darker than Officer George. They would use that right there talking about Officer George be like, see, I'm lighter than you. Meaning he's closer color to the white man than you are.
I get an extra piece of cornbread.
I get an extra piece of cornbread.
All that old kind of crap.
You see that right there? That will bring envy between the brothers and sisters. All right? And go ahead, read.
He says, and envy for control purposes.
And envy for what?
For control purposes.
See, they use this thing to control the people. Now, let's bump that up to today. Let's bump that up to today. You got women out here. You got regular, natural women out here. They got natural body parts. What do a woman that got a flat chest does? But this is I'm going to make a point first. The point is, you got some men that like flat chest. They might not like big chest. They like flat chest. Everybody got somebody that likes something. You got men down here, some men like women with big rumps. Some men don't like women with big rumps. But what happens is these women see these other women and they're getting the guy that they want.
Yeah, exactly.
They get the guy and not knowing that that's just not the guy for you.
Right. So they go out.
They go out their way to get a breast implants, get butt pads or a butt induction. You know, what is it?
Reduction.
They're added to their butt.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason why women do this thing is because of jealousy. Now let's talk about men. Men to go out, they'll get a penis enlargement or take pills that enlarge themselves. Why? Because another man, they'll see another man and they like, oh, well, not every woman is going to be big. That's the women that's sleeping with everybody. Now, if you sleeping around with everybody, you're going to fall into a couple of oceans. I can't get out. Yeah, you can't get out. But that don't mean that you're going to get yourself enlarged.
Right.
Because you gonna get yourself enlarged, and now guess what? You fall into one of those oceans that got AIDS. Do it matter if you large or not anymore?
And men get implants too. They don't want to go to the gym.
That's what
but they'll go to the
go get the chest,
and put the pecs in there,
get their arms, get the triceps and the biceps.
Yeah.
You're right. Men to do the same thing.
So do. That's great.
So. Why did I get on this?
We was talking about the envy part.
Oh, the envy part. So that's now keep on going, Officer George. I ain't gonna go no more. Watch this.
It says, and these methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies, and it will work throughout the South. Take this simple little list of differences and think about them. It says, on the top of my list is age, but
on the top of my list is what?
He said, on the top of my list is age.
See, the age is putting the young man against the older man. That goes into the disrespect of the young men. These young men don't have no respect for the older men. All right, and so that thing still is going on right now today. The Willy Lynch is alive right now today. And you know the bad thing is we can show our people this letter and they'll be like, that ain't me. That's exactly you. Hell, you mean it ain't you. But watch this. Come on, man.
He said on the top of my list is age. But it's there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade.
There it goes. The color or shade. Putting the light skin against the dark skin. Read.
There is intelligence.
The next one is what?
Intelligence.
See, y'all bash a nigga because he can't read that good. You know, I see Kemp still I see y'all brothers say y'all won't still do the same stuff. Knowing that we've been dumbed down in this damn America, knowing that everybody don't have the same intelligence.
Right.
The God, hold on, give me that. Give me Exodus 4:11 for me, please. Give me Exodus chapter 4, verse 11. I see some of you brothers still do the same bad shit, but you saying that you spiritual.
Right.
You're not spiritual, man. Watch this. Read what you got.
The book of Exodus, chapter 4, verse 11.
And if you are spiritual, you need to examine yourself that you going against your own people. Watch this. Read.
And the Lord said unto him, who hath made man's mouth?
Who made man's mouth?
Or who maketh the dumb?
Who maketh the dumb?
Or deaf?
Or deaf?
Or the seeing?
Or the seeing?
Or the blind?
Or the blind?
Have not I the Lord?
See, God is the one that makes you dumb, makes you talk, not talk, make you see, not see, make you smart, not smart.
That's right.
God controls that. So when brothers are sitting back and you bashing brothers or sisters because of their educational level, maybe you might be highly educated, but how about those dummies make it to the kingdom and your dumb butt don't make it to the kingdom?
Right.
Let's go back to where we were saying.
That's right.
Go ahead, read what you got the next week.
And it says the intelligence, size.
Intelligent and what?
Size.
See, because you got the big natural, big built brothers, and you got the smaller brothers.
Right.
Well, you know what's funny is, and even on today, you ever notice in the world, dudes are bullies. And I'm gonna tell you why. They will pick on somebody smaller, but they won't pick on somebody they own equal size. If you got the same muscle context, that means you got the same muscle content. I'm not gonna mess with you because you know why? You don't know if I'm gonna hit you your damn eye harder than you gonna hit me in my eye. So it's a fear factor right there. But if it's somebody smaller, you feel like, oh, I get with him.
Yeah.
And then he punch you in your eye just like the big dude.
Break you down.
Go to the next one, read.
Size, sex.
Size what?
Size, sex.
Sex.
Size of plantation.
Size of plantation.
Status.
Status. Male or, that's going into male or female. Status, go ahead.
Where was status on the plantation?
Okay, status on the plantation. I don't know, stop right there. Male or female, go back to that on sex. Okay.
The first one was intelligence, the size, the sex.
Sex. Meaning, that's going into right now, y'all women talking about y'all independent. Putting the woman against the man. It's women work and it's men work. Let's see what God says about that. Give me Tobit chapter 2. Give me Tobit chapter 2. Watch this. I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Watch this. Tobit chapter 2. It's everything out here in America. You can have nuts if you want to. That's what they say. You can have nuts. Literally. You can have nuts. If you're a woman, you can have nuts.
They put them on you.
But God, I'm sorry. He caught me off guard with that. Damn. Give me Tobit chapter 2. Give me Tobit chapter 2 and start with verse 11.
The book of Tobit, chapter 2 and verse 11.
Read.
It says, and my wife Anna did take women's works to do.
Did take women's works to do. So women had different type of jobs they supposed to do, and men had different type of jobs they supposed to do. But when we got here to America, all of a sudden the women wants to have the same nuts as a man.
Right.
But they still want to be treated like a woman.
Well, yeah.
But they want to still be treated like a woman, but they want to let their nuts hang just like the man.
Right.
That don't make sense to me. It's no such thing as equal when it comes to men and women. And when our nation come back to that, we'll be a whole better nation. That's only here in America. Well, the women play hard just like the men play hard.
Right.
Let me tell you something. That woman, Brittany Griner, a basketball player.
Oh, wow.
She's over there doing 9 years.
So is.
And she tatted up and she's eating carpet. She was a man. She was eating carpet. Now her ass is a woman again. I bet you all damn type of tears coming out of her ass shut up in penitentiary. Am I saying, well, it's not wrong that she got locked? No. Yeah, it's not right that she got locked up for 9 years for a damn little thing of weed, medical marijuana. But let me tell you something. Yes, she put herself in that predicament. You should have known you going out of the country. What made you think that America rules? But see, now y'all starting to learn. America rules don't follow you wherever you go in.
Because some of them rules over there is harsher than here.
You damn right. America's rules are now you athletes, when you go in these other countries, you want to sneak your cocaine, you want to sneak your weed, you'll leave that stuff at home, then, won't you? Mm-hmm. And let me tell you something, the real talk. Let me tell you something. Real talk about this situation. I believe that you got to understand that Esau is Russia. And you got to realize is Brittany Griner is a black woman.
That's right.
You better believe, as the Bible says, Esau hate us. That's why she received 9 years. If that was a white athlete that went over there, they would have been home already.
Yep.
I don't give a hell what Russia say. Russia, just as much as America hate y'all niggas, so do Russia hate y'all too. Mm-hmm. They the same people, guys. They just speak two different languages. Let's go back to where we was. That's it on that. Let's go back to the Willy Lynch.
The next attribute, or you want to call it, there was attitude.
The next one was attitude.
Of the owners.
Of the owners. The attitude of the owners. Whether you treated them nice, you treated them being mean. The owner might treat one person nice, might treat one person mean. Read.
It says attitude of the owners, whether the slaves live in the valley.
In the valley.
Or on a hill.
On the hill.
East or west.
Come on.
North, south. Have fine hair.
Have what?
Fine hair.
That's where y'all brothers get right now. You know what? We still deal with these things of our people talking about, I got Indian in my family. Y'all ignorant.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know. Black folks got good hair. I got good hair. And I'm not Indian. My daughter got excellent hair. My boys got excellent. And I'm from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
What the hell wrong with y'all?
That's right.
I got good hair. Damn, what? You gotta be an Indian to have good hair?
Damn.
And it ain't no such damn thing as Indian.
If it's like the pure wool, it's good hair.
If it's like the pure wool, if it's nappy, it's good hair. Because the Most High had pure nappy hair. Tell me what the hell wrong with y'all people? What's wrong with these folks, man?
I know it.
Good hair.
Yeah.
Y'all know who? Y'all. Give me Leviticus chapter 13, verse 40. I'm gonna show you that good hair you talk about from the white folks or what's those other folks? Those Arab folks.
Oh, Arab.
Let me show y'all they hair. Give me that. Leviticus 13:30. Watch this.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 13 and verse 30.
Read.
Then the priest shall see the plague. And behold, if it be in the sight deeper than the skin.
If it be in the sight deeper than the skin.
And there be in it a yellow thin hair.
Read.
Then the priest shall pronounce him unclean.
Come on.
It is a dry sky.
Come on.
Even a leprosy upon the head and beard.
Even the leprosy of the head and beard. Who's the only people that got blind damn hair? Oh man, what did y'all not understand? Y'all talking about white people got good hair. They got leprosy in their damn hair. Y'all don't understand these things.
That's right.
Why did God give them that hair? If God loves somebody, why did he give black people leprosy?
Right.
That's why he said Jacob, the black man that I love, and Esau, the so-called white man, that's why they got that blonde what? Hair.
It was an indicator. It was an identifying marker.
Oh man, that was a sign and a wonder, wasn't it?
Yeah. So when you see it, you know exactly who that is.
You know exactly who it is. But our people run around here Talking about, I want a light skinny baby with good hair.
Yeah.
She want a light skinny baby with dog hair, so you can brush the hair like a dog all day. What the hell is wrong with us, man?
With hazel eyes.
With hazel eyes. You might as well damn just go buy you a damn one of them wolf dogs. Got one green eye, one got one blue.
Yeah.
What the hell wrong with y'all people, man? Y'all making me go up this Willy Lynch letter is really pissing me off. But read, come on.
Okay, coarse hair. Because we went from the fine hair to the coarse hair. Or it's tall or it's
Hold on. Can you give me a definition of coarse hair? Here you go. Here you go. You can go right here. Give me that definition real quick. Excuse. Let me get up there. All right, there you go. I'll just put that in there. All right. Here, let me see. Gee, I got you. Y'all was doing, you work with every day with the computer. See, yeah. Yes.
S-E.
Yeah. There you go. I mean, her.
Something still smells
There you go. You got it. Nah, you got it. What the hell? Hold on real quick.
C-O-U-R-S-E. S-E-K-I-R.
Hold on, man. I got to close it out then.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah, I got to close it out. All right. Go ahead.
Coarse hair is a hair type with hair strands that are thicker and larger in diameter than other types. Coarse hair may be a feature of hair that is straight, wavy, curly, or coiled.
Whose hair does it?
Black folk.
Black folks' hair.
It tends to be stronger than other types of hair.
It tends to be what?
It tends to be stronger than other hair types. But it is also less pliable and more prone to dryness and split ends.
You see that's why God gave us this hair. They said more prone to split. That's our hair. That's godly hair. When it said, give me that Daniel 7 and 10. Watch this. Have anybody ever seen a thing of wool? Have you seen a thing of wool? Anybody ever seen a real wool? Piece of wool.
We seen it at the.
You remember we seen it at the.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you remember the wool, right? Y'all remember? Is that wool? Is that wool all in? What the word I'm looking? Is it all neat and cut neatly?
No.
It's different little strings hanging there. That's what they talking about. The end of that.
Right.
What you said. Split ends.
Yeah.
Yeah. Watch this. Read what you got.
The book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 10. And I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow.
Whose garment was white as snow.
And the hair of his head.
And the hair of his head.
Like the pure wool.
You know what pure wool, meaning God wasn't combing his hair. Like, he had pure wool hair.
And the angels picking it out for him.
Oh.
His hair was thunder.
Yeah. Pure wool.
Pure wool. So God had an afro with pure wool. So when you got an afro, was all your out there, you know, black folks, we used to keep our afro tight, meaning we had it, we got it cut to where it was no ends going up.
Yeah.
But that's not always so.
No.
You still had hair still going out of there. That's what they talking about, the split ends. So people, we had coarse hair, meaning black people hair. Go ahead, read what you got.
They went from the coarse hair or dealing with.
See, so you went from fine hair to coarse hair. Read.
Right. Or those who are tall or short.
Read.
Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of actions. But before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust.
Distrust is stronger than trust. Watch this.
And envy stronger than adulation.
Read.
Respect or admiration.
Come on.
Since the black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, should carry on.
Hold on. The black slaves, after they should receive this what?
Indoctrination.
Indoctrination. That's what they was indoctrinating us with these things, with their philosophies, with their ways. They was indoctrinating us. So the whole time that, like when we read Deuteronomy 28:48, therefore shall thou serve thy enemies in the want of all things. The want of all things was their indoctrinations of us, the way they wanted us to carry ourselves. Read.
So the black slaves, after receiving this indoctrination, shall carry on and will become self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male.
You must pitch the old black male because that's what the young males, you old, bro. Get on out of here. You old. Your time is past. See, they have no respect for the older black men on the corner. We grew up the same way. Not that we didn't respect people, but once people got to a certain age, we don't want to listen to you. No, boy, you don't know nothing about, man, go on, bro. You don't know nothing about this music. You still listen to Frankie Beverly. And I was just listening to Frankie Beverly, but I'm telling him to go listen. But get out, boy, you don't know nothing about pop. You don't know nothing about Biggie. Well, the young boys are saying the same thing about me today. You don't know nothing about, what's that boy's name? The young boy, Dirt, Lil Dirt. You don't know nothing about, you don't know nothing about, what's the other tall skinny one did the song with Dirt?
No, I don't know.
Who?
King Von.
King Von. You don't know nothing about, what's the other rapper? The little tall skinny one, Lil Baby. You don't know nothing about Lil Baby. You don't know nothing about Da Baby. You don't know nothing about these little dudes. You know when? You can't tell me about, I can't tell them about their music because I don't know one of their verses. You know what I mean? So I can't tell them about their music. Just like that. But one thing you can't, but what happens with that is you also can't tell these young brothers how to get saved. Because the only thing they know how to do is make money and kill each other. So when in the Willy Lynch letter, when they put the young against the old, this was facts. This thing still goes on right now today. My brothers ever tried to tell me something, man, I ain't listening, y'all. But they only try to tell you what they seen. Mm-hmm. You won't listen to them because you gotta make your own way instead of letting somebody make the way easier for you. Everybody like to take the hard path. Yeah. And that's just like us. We got, like, he's older than me. I'm his elder. But guess what? He's older than me. That don't mean that he ain't seen something I ain't seen. So when he speak, I'm gonna listen to him. When I speak, he's going to listen to me. He's going to listen to me in these scriptures. I'm going to listen to him about something in the world that happened. Yeah, I got you. You know what? I need to take it. I'm glad you told me that. I did not know that. These are the things that we as black folks have got away from.
Yep. Sure have.
Look, we giving you an example. We're breaking right here. We're breaking the Willy Lynch letter right here.
Right.
I'm younger. He's older, and he got respect as me as his elder. I got respect to him as he's my officer, and I still got respect because he's a hoary head.
Oh. No, I know.
Hoary head. Go ahead, Reed. Say who? Go ahead.
So don't forget, we must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male against the old black male. You must use the dark skin slave versus the light skinned slave.
That's another thing with me and Officer George. He's lighter, I'm darker. See, these things, we could really show this right here.
Yeah.
We are the example. Go ahead, Reed.
And the light skin against the dark skinned slave. And you must use the female.
Stop. I want to stop right there. I'm going to show y'all something. Every last one of y'all got light-skinned people in y'all family, and I'm not knocking the light-skinned people. But
even lighter than me?
Right, even lighter than you. But I'm going to show y'all something. Y'all know damn well in y'all families, when y'all got light-skinned people and they pretty, they light-skinned and they pretty in your family, they word is way more bonded than your word. Because you're dark-skinned and people consider you dark-skinned, you're not pretty.
Yeah.
Or you dark-skinned and you dumb. Yeah. But they light-skinned and they words mean everything because they're light-skinned and everybody follows them.
Yeah.
Everybody follow them because they light-skinned. Mm-hmm. The white man was counting on that thing right there. He bet his $1 million on Willy. Willy Lynch betted his million on that. And it worked. But go ahead, officer. Go ahead.
I was going to say, that remember the movie that I remember you was sister was talking about one time. I seen it some time ago when they took the little black kids and they had the little white baby and the black baby.
Yes.
And I was thinking to myself, I said, now these was babies. How did they know? Was that thing, this Willy Lynch thing, is it embedded into our DNA some kind of way? Yes. Spirit?
That's what he's telling you.
Yeah. What? Yeah.
That's what he's telling you.
Because those was babies that never knew nothing.
Because you trained them up that way.
Which one is the good one? Man, it was amazing when they pointed to the little white baby doll.
You be amazing, brother, that what cartoons can do for you. Even when we was looking at cartoons when we was young, I think about it, you looked at cartoons. I looked at them too. When you looked at cartoons, it was Bugs Bunny was white.
Yeah. And the Crows was the black guy. Because they sit on, had the little hat on talking.
Remember Woody Woodpecker?
Yeah.
He kept on getting beat up or whatever. Woody Woodpecker always lost. Also, Sylvester the Cat. He was black.
Yeah. You can tell by their character or something. Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And these things, man, even with cartoons, even with dolls. People, these little girls will buy a black doll and they be like, I don't want that. Why you don't want the black doll? I want the white doll. And that's what you're saying because they feel like the white doll is more important than the black doll.
Prettier.
Or more prettier. We're going to get to that. Come on, read what you got.
And it goes on to say, it says, and you must use the female versus the male, and the male versus the female. You must also have white servants and overseers who distrust blacks. But it is necessary that your slaves trust.
Stop. You notice he said white servants. Them is not talking about slaves. The white servants is talking about even white folks had white folks working for them. They actually was getting money to work for you. The white folks back then was getting money to work for you. Mm-hmm. Like when we was like the Israelites that worked for Israelites. We had to pay our servants, but they was not our slaves. But we had to pay our servants.
And that's the lie that some people, I've talked to whites, and we might be talking about, I probably won't get much into the Bible, but it might be on that thing of slavery and whatnot. Yeah. And you hear some white person, they say, well, my great-great-great-grandfather or mother or something was a servant, and that was an indentured.
There you go.
What we was talking about here.
Right. And that servant was not a slave. That servant was a paid person. That person was paid. They was not a slave. Go ahead.
It says, and you must have white servants and overseers who distrust blacks.
All right. While you looking where you at? Go ahead and finish reading it while I look for this scripture.
it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust us, and only us. Gentlemen, these kids are your key to control. Use them. Have your wives and your children use them. This is the white folks.
Hold on, read it again.
He says, gentlemen, these kids are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and children use them.
Your wives and your what? Children use them.
Never miss an opportunity.
All right. So now watch this. So it said have your wives and your kids, and white people still trained up their kids in the Willy Lynch number 7. They still train them up. And we're not doing yet. But I'm going to add something to this. Give me 2 Chronicles chapter 9 and verse 1. 2 Chronicles chapter 9 verse 1. I'm ready to reprove to y'all right here that that we had servants. The same thing they talking about is the same thing that we had back here. Watch this. Read what you got. 9 and 1.
The book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 9, verse 1. And when the queen of Sheba heard of the fame of Solomon, she came to prove Solomon with hard questions at Jerusalem.
Read.
With a very great company, and camels that bear spices and gold in abundance, and precious stones. And when she was come to Solomon, she communed with him of all that was in her heart.
You know, King Solomon was rich. He was the king. Watch this. Read.
And Solomon told her all her questions, and there was nothing hid from Solomon which he had told her not.
So he answered all her questions. Come on.
And when the queen of Sheba had seen the wisdom of Solomon in the house that he had built,
read,
and the meat of his table,
read,
and the setting of his servants,
and the what?
And the setting of his servants.
Watch this.
And the attendance.
And the attendance of his what?
Of his ministers.
Of his helpers.
And apparel.
And their apparel, their clothing.
His cupbearers.
His cupbearers.
And his apparel.
And their apparel.
And his ascent by which he went up into the house of the Lord. There was no more spirit in it.
Read.
And she said to the king, it was a true report which I heard in my own land of thine acts.
And that words, read.
And of thy wisdom.
Read.
Howbeit I believed not their words until I came, and mine eyes had seen it. And behold, the one half of the greatness of thy wisdom was not told to me.
Read.
For thou exceeded the fame that I heard.
Come on.
Happy are thy men.
Happy are thy men.
And happy are these servants.
Happy are these servants, thy servants, read.
Which stand continually before thee.
Read.
And hear thy wisdom.
Stop. Happy is thy men and thy servants that stand before thee.
So they was well taken care of.
Yes.
They had it going on.
So they were servants, but they was not what? Slave. Did you see how well dressed they was? Now, just like in the Willy Lynch letter, the white servants was not dressed like us. They did not have to eat in the slave house like us. They ate out in the white people's house at the white people table. So y'all sound stupid.
Yeah.
I just had to show you the example. And that's the same thing we were showing y'all. Them white folks wasn't no damn slaves.
That's right.
They were servants. We was called slaves. We was not called servants. Read that last part again, what you read right here.
In Chronicles, right here. It says, gentlemen, these kids.
No, right here, you must.
Oh, you must also have white servants.
You must also have white servants.
And overseers.
And overseers.
Who distrust all black.
Stop. Who's the overseers? Black overseers. Them is just like in the book of Exodus 2 and 1. They had black overseers. They had Hebrews over the what? Hebrews.
That was your taskmasters.
Your taskmasters. Yes. And that's the same thing this is saying right here. Read it again.
It says you must also have white servants and overseers.
You must have white servants. You notice he said white servants and overseers. The white servants is the ones who is the same people, and the overseers is talking about our people. That what? Read.
Who distrust all blacks.
Who distrust all blacks. So you had blacks that didn't trust blacks either.
Yeah.
That's the same people they set up in our jobs as supervisors.
Right.
They set up at our jobs as supervisors today because they don't trust your black ass just like Esau don't trust your black ass.
That is powerful.
You got something to say?
No, it just made me think of my own place of employment.
Read what you got.
And it says, but it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us.
Read.
Gentlemen.
They must trust, respect only us. Read.
Gentlemen, these kids are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives and your children use them. Never miss an opportunity.
Never miss an opportunity. So let me ask y'all a question. Was they servants also taught that? The white servants? Yes. The white servants was also taught this as time went on. Because just because he was a servant at that time didn't mean that he didn't get an opportunity to make money down the road like they was making money.
Right.
All right. So now from give me Deuteronomy 28:32.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32.
Watch this.
Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So the Bible says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people. Read.
And thine eyes shall look and fill with longing for them all the day long.
Read.
And there should be no might in thy hand.
There should be no what?
There should be no might in thine hand.
Read.
The fruit of thy...
That's it. And there should be no might in thy hand. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look with felling all the day long, with longing for all the day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand. So who did that happen to? It happened to us. You know what? I never seen a white root movie. Where the white people was in captivity to the black people and the black people was hanging the white people. There's no such thing. When we, ladies, when we went to the museum, we went to the slavery museum. Did we see white people in slavery?
Nope.
No white people was in slavery in these most museums. See, our people been bamboozled all their life. Go ahead.
I know another way of trickery that Esau uses in movies and stuff. It'd be like sometimes you'll see these movies where the setting might be like I'm gonna just say Vikings or something. Say like way over in the Norsemans and all that, you know, and way back in the ancient times, and maybe some of these, you know, some of their I don't know if they're military or something, they're brutes or whatever. They go to take over a village. Yeah. And they'll show them taking over another village of people that look like them. And they might have them in little cages or whatever, but white people use that as a signifying, as a measure to try to compete with us about slavery. They'll look at, well, see, some of our people was in slavery. That wasn't no slavery.
That wasn't no slavery.
That wasn't, not this type of slavery.
That's just a takeover.
That was a takeover.
And so it's just like when the Romans defeated the Greeks. Yeah. It was just a takeover.
Just a takeover.
It was just a takeover. Everybody can watch their movies, like when you watch the Troy. You remember the movie Troy? Yeah. Where they use the Trojans, where they use the Trojan horse. Just those movies is just one white folk conquered another white folk. And they all came together, lived together, and you was under their authority, but not like we're under their authority.
Right.
All right. So with that being said, read Deuteronomy 28:32 one more time.
It's in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fell with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand.
You can go to 12 years of slavery. You can go to Roots. You can go to The Color Purple. You can go look at these movies, guys, and you can see that our people was mistreated. Our people was confounded. Our people was begging for someone to save them in these movies. But let me tell you something. That was really reality. But one thing our people forgot was y'all left God. And God made it happen for a reason. Because he didn't want you no more. Some of y'all sitting around and y'all serving other gods because God wants you to serve other gods. You've been doing it your whole life. Meaning, back in time past, you was one of those ones that was up in the under all the green trees and carving idols into the tree, worshiping, bowing down, praying to other trees. I mean, other people serving other things like the two calves. Y'all was serving those type of things. Y'all always have served other gods. And so God, what God did is he unsegregated you. He integrated you into these nations for the reason of most of y'all demise. A lot of y'all, this is to your destruction because y'all love doing it and God got tired of it. And we didn't understand. So when our people sit back and their tears come down their eyes when their kids die, there's no God comforting you. He's not comforting you. And you believe it or not, you might say, oh man, you a lie. Bro, I'm not lying to you. The reason why he's not comforting you because you choose not to serve him. People say, how hard is it for you to put fringes on the bottom of your clothes? How hard is it for you to keep your beard white? How hard is it for you women to wear a dress every day? You know what's funny? All of y'all want to be like Queen Elizabeth. Y'all want to live in that big mansion with big castle. Y'all want to live in that big castle. Y'all want to have all the guards around y'all. Give me John chapter 14. A lot of I'm using the women right here for this reason. Because the reason why is you'll hear a lot of women want to be like, they want to be queen this or diva that. That's what we hear out here from y'all women. Right. Y'all want to be the diva. I'm a queen. I'm a boss woman. But watch this. Read what you got.
John 14 and
verse 2.
Verse 2. In my Father's house are many mansions.
In my Father's house there are many mansions.
If it were not so, I would have told you.
Read.
I go to prepare a place for you.
Read.
And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself.
And I will receive you unto myself. Read.
That where I am, there ye may be also.
You see that, guys? So now what I want y'all to understand is this. Christ said is many mansions in his Father's kingdom. There's many mansions in his Father's house. All of y'all wants to be like Queen Elizabeth. But one thing I know, Queen Elizabeth wore a dress every damn day. It's not one day that white woman do not wear a dress. Y'all really don't want to be like Queen Elizabeth. Y'all just want what's good? Give me a good word. Attributes. Or
Status, attributes, yeah.
Y'all want the things that she got, but she wears a dress every day. And we're talking about a white woman.
Yeah.
If you're a queen, shouldn't a queen have on a dress?
Yes. And our boobs shouldn't be hanging out.
Our boobs shouldn't be hanging. And she should be smelling pretty. She should have a dress on smelling pretty. That's what a queen is. A diva is a hoe that just she's a hoe.
Yeah. They got a little money.
They got a little money. I'm a diva.
Little money than most.
Yeah. But I'm a hoe with money.
Yeah.
I'm a hoe with money. Our people not understanding these things, man.
They got somebody to cook them some dinner. They pay somebody. They got enough money where they can cook somebody to cook their dinner for them, bring it to them or whatnot.
But what I'm saying is, why are we not being queens?
Right.
Queens wear dresses.
And queens got kings.
And queens got kings.
They married to somebody, ain't they?
And they not running around sleeping with everybody.
Right. So how's that a queen?
You talking about a girl?
I was thinking about that one day.
Go ahead.
So how some of our
women, something.
How some of our women talk about being queens, you know. And I said, man, hold up. Queens got kings, got a man that she's married to, not multiple entanglements. So how can you, you know, I'm just, you know.
Let me cut in there. She got a man that she's married to. She's not running around to different houses, and she got dresses on.
Yeah.
Hint. But with the Willy Lynch letter, you got to remember it says man against woman, sex, and when it says sex. It's not talking about rinky. No. That's talking about male and what? Female. Meaning the woman was not going to listen to the what?
To the man.
Listen to the man. That's what that meant.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to the Willy Lynch. And I want to go back to page 18. Watch this, brothers and sisters. Page 18, watch this.
It says the Negro marriage.
The what?
The Negro marriage.
Read.
We breed two nigga males.
Listen to what it said, brothers and sisters. Read it loud and clear, officer.
We breed two nigga males.
Read.
With two nigga females.
Come on.
Then.
Hold on, you know this what they calling them?
Nigger.
Did they say African?
No, they said nigger.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to say it just like it's spelled. I can say it with the Ebonics and but they said nigger.
the proper way to say it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, read it. Go ahead.
It said we breed two nigga males with two nigga females. Then we take the nigga males away from them and keep them moving and working. Say one nigga female bears a nigga female and the other bears a nigga male. Both nigga females being without influence of the nigga male image.
Hold on. Go back. Cause I got some. Hold on. Now let me give y'all something. All right. I want y'all to understand. Hold that book up for me again. Hold that book up for them. We are reading out of the Willy Lynch letter. This is not our words, so y'all can understand. We're reading out a book. This is not our book. This is Willy Lynch letters. That's why they using the word nigger. This is in the book. That's why we're only speaking what's written in the book. Okay? I just want to make that clear for no one to be offended. All right, let's read it again. Let's go from where you was at. And let's start about right here.
Okay. They say one nigga female bears a nigga female.
Read.
And the other bears a nigga male.
Read.
Both nigga females being without influence of the nigga male.
See, now you notice this is the whole key. Both nigger females, being without the influence of the male. Read.
Of the male image, frozen.
What it was?
Without the male image, frozen with an independent psychology.
So frozen with an independent psychology. Watch this, a frozen psychology. Watch this, read.
Will raise their offspring into reverse position.
So so without a male in the house, that's why we got, without a male in the house, that's why we got, little girls want to be boys and little boys want to be girls. Because when you eliminate the man out of the house, a man ain't having that stuff in his house. He would tear bark out of butts. He's not having it. So what happens is, and we're not talking because let's get the scripture, because God says, let's get the scripture. Give me Proverbs 22:14, please. 13:24. Proverbs 13:24, please. Watch what God says.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 13 and verse 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son.
Read.
But he that loveth him,
he that loveth his son,
chasteneth him betime.
Meaning, give me 22 and 15.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verse 15.
I like this one.
Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child.
Foolishness is bound in the heart of a child.
But the rod of correction,
but the rod of that belt
shall drive it far from him.
See, so the Bible is letting you know to whoop your kids to drive. So when you got a man in the house, he's going to get them with that rod to drive that foolishness out of the kids. So if you thought you wanted to be a man, you was a girl, you thought you wanted to be a man, when I do turn you up with this belt, you ain't even gonna want to be a girl no more. You just want to be a frog. You know what? I'm a frog, really.
You're gonna beat the devil out of him.
That's what we used to say. Go beat the devil. So let's go back to Willy Lynch. Let's go back to Willy Lynch. Read what you got, man. That's real talk. Wow. We laughing, but we not laughing.
But this,
we not laughing to be funny. We talking about real talk. You got to, that's why the court system set it up. That's why the Bible says, for the hurt of the daughter of my people, they are going back to, let me see where we at.
Or is it,
Jeremiah 8 and 11. Give me it one more time.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 8, verse 11.
Watch this, guys.
You have to learn to memorize this one. It says, for they have healed the hurt of the daughters of my people.
For they have healed the hurt of the daughter of my people. Watch this. Slightly saying what?
Saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace.
So now let me tell y'all something. It's never no peace, because y'all got to remember, what law did they throw in when we started whooping our kids? Child abuse. Now they saying that if you whoop your kids, it's child. There's no peace with these people, guys. So once you start disciplining your kids to get them out of, who wants their son coming home with makeup on?
Right.
And some high heels? That's why we got different laws. You remember, guys, when we started out, I took you to Judah. I took you to Esther. I took you to show you that we had a different law than these people. They got their own laws, and we got a law of God. So that's why I took you to these spots to show you. They think that our laws are weird. Our laws are not weird. Yeah. Our laws is reality. There's no such thing as no boy coming home with no damn heels in Israel. He'll get put to death.
When in the beginning of, I think right in the beginning when we spoke about our laws and why they was given to us, because it was our wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations.
In the sight of the nations, because the nations was going to know that we was different from them according to our laws.
But it's what the nations would say. This is a wise and understanding people. What other people on this planet that we give that type of credence to?
See what I mean?
The nations, these other nations could not deny. That's why Most High put it in there. These other nations could, if we started acting the way we supposed to and follow these laws, statutes, commandments, and be in our proper place, these other nations they could not deny us, man.
Yeah, they could not deny us at that time. But now, that's why they plot and plan to keep us in what? Sin. That's why they got everything to keep us in sin now. That's why everything is on Saturday. The football game's on Saturday. The basketball game's on Saturday. The baseball game's on Saturday. Hockey's on Saturday. Nudie bars on Saturday. Racetracks on Saturday. Everything's on Saturday. Drink Saturday. Everybody paid 50% off at the mall on Saturday.
Yeah, that is.
Everything's on Saturday to keep you out of God's Saturday.
And we watch the news on Wednesday and they talk about everything that's going to happen Saturday.
There you go. So, officers, you hit it on the point. You hit it on the nail. Great. You hit it on the nail. Let's go back to where we was.
Okay.
Read that again, where we was at, the offspring.
It says,
reverse positions. Right.
Yeah, it says, frozen with an independent psychology.
Frozen with an independent psychology. They own what? They own ways. They own thoughts on things.
That's what it's saying.
They own thoughts. So women, without the men, the women had their own ways to do things. Read what you got.
Will raise their offspring into reverse positions.
So they will raise their offsprings into reverse positions. Come on.
The one with the female offspring will teach her to be like herself. Independent and negotiable. Renegotiate with her. Through her, by her, negotiate her at will. The one with the nigga male offspring, she being frozen subconscious, fear for his life.
Stop, because I ain't through with that. Go back up. Go back up to the psychology part. Watch this.
It says, to the psychology part.
Right here.
Being without influence of the nigga male.
Now, I'm going to show y'all this. Being without influence. I'm going to do a part 2 on this. I'm sorry, guys. This went a little farther than I wanted. Being influenced without the nigga male. Read.
So being without the influence of the nigga male image, frozen with an independent psychology.
Read.
Will raise their offspring into reverse positions.
Stop. Give me Jeremiah chapter, give me Isaiah chapter 9 verse, Isaiah chapter 3 verse 12. Isaiah verse 3 verse 12. And then I want Jeremiah 31 and 22. Watch this, guys. And if you're a woman on here listening, don't take it personal. This is something that you need to hear. Because this is how they able to overcome us. Why? Because God put men to be leaders in this nation. And the reason the Willy Lynch letter is letting you know is take the man out of the household and we can rule their nation. And guys, they have been doing this for 400 years. And we ain't woke up yet. And our women, y'all, and I'm not just bashing y'all women because the men's is total mess ups. But I'm just letting you know, y'all women, y'all been sicking the police on y'all men's, taking them to child support court. And all this time y'all been doing this, y'all been following the Willy Lynch letter to the T.
Following that psychology.
Following that psychology to the T. And I gotta show you is the reason why. Read what you got.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 3 verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Children are their oppressors. Watch this.
And women.
And who?
And women.
Women do what?
Rule over them.
See, that's why that women rule over these children because we have been raised under our own knowledge. Women that's why they say, go talk to Big Mama. Go talk to Mama. Go talk to daughter. They always send you to talk to a woman. They never send you to talk to the man. Read. Come on.
It says, oh, my people. They which lead thee cause thee to err.
These women is causing our men and women to err. To err. That's what means. Is that it on that?
And destroy the way of thy path.
And see, you destroying the way of your path is, give me the path. Give me Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. This is the path right here. Watch this. I just want that first part.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 13.
This is your path.
It says, enter ye at the straight gate.
Enter you at a straight gate. Read.
For wide is the gate.
For wide is the gate.
And broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
You see that? So he said, lead to destruction. Read.
And many there be which go in thereat.
That go that way of destruction. But watch this.
Because straight is the gate.
Because straight is the gate.
And narrow is the way.
And narrow is the way. That narrow path and that straight path is the way. Then what?
Which leadeth unto life.
Leadeth to what?
Which leadeth unto life.
Give me 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 22. Watch this. That leadeth unto life. 2nd Ezra chapter 7, verse 22. Watch this.
The book of 2nd Ezra.
Chapter 7, verse 20. I'm sorry.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, and verse 20.
Let me make sure. Yeah, go ahead and read that. Go ahead. 20.
For there be many that perish in this life because they despise.
No, that ain't what I want. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Yeah, hold on real quick. Yeah, I was wrong. It's right there, though. That's what I want. I'm looking for it says God gave us straight commandments. It's right there. 21.
Yeah.
21. Go ahead.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra.
I was right under it. Go ahead.
Chapter 7, verse 21.
Read.
For God hath given straight commandments.
See, that's the straight. That's what he's saying. Keep that path straight. For God had given what?
For God hath given straight commandments.
For God hath given straight commandments. Read.
To such as came.
To such as came.
What they should do to live.
Read.
Even as they came. And what they should observe to avoid punishment.
You see that? So now when you go back to Matthew 7 one more time, officer.
Matthew.
Thank you. Read what you got.
Matthew 7 and verse 13. It says, enter ye at the straight gate.
So the straight gate, we understand, is talking about enter at God's commandments. God's commandments is what? Straight. Read.
For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And many there be which go in thereat. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life.
Read.
And few there be that find it.
See that? So straight is the way. And narrow and straight is the way that leadeth to what? To life. So God's commandments is what leads to what? Straight commandments lead to what?
To life.
To life. All right. So let's go back to where we was. Let's go back in the Willy Lynch letter because I just had to show y'all that real quick. Oh, it was no, we're not done yet. Give me Jeremiah. That's where I want you to go at. Yep, Jeremiah 31 and 22. That's where I want.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 31 and verse 22.
Yep.
How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughters?
Oh, backsliding daughters, come on.
For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth.
Read.
A woman shall compass a man.
See, this is what God already knew that the Willy Lynch letters was coming. God already knew this thing was coming. So that's why he said this scripture right here. Read it again.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 31, verse 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughters? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth.
God had created a new thing in the earth.
A woman shall compass a man.
The woman shall compass a man. All right. A woman shall compass a man. So God knew that. Let's go back to go back to where you was. The philosophies. Watch it one more time. Now it should make sense to you.
And it says
psychology.
Being without the influence of the nigga male image, frozen with an independent psychology.
See, so God knew that a woman, he already knew that this is a new thing in the earth, that a woman shall surpass a man. Where did that happen at? Happen on this side of the earth. All right, read what you got.
Will raise their offspring into reverse position.
So now, when this was happening, they was going to raise their offspring in reverse positions. Read.
Says the one with the female offspring will teach her to be like herself.
Be like herself.
Independent.
What is she?
Independent.
That's where Beyonce got this from. Independent woman. Also, effeminate butt came out. Independent woman. You probably want an independent man.
Wow.
But that's it. He came out with the same thing. Independent woman. Read.
And negotiable.
And negotiable. Read.
We negotiate with her through her, by her, negotiates her at will.
See, so Esau's telling you that he only negotiate with the woman. So when the police come, who the police go to first?
The woman.
They go straight to the woman. What happened?
News interviews.
News interviews. Who they go to? The woman. Hey, what happened?
Yeah. They do that.
So these things, these things is still right now today. When you go to child support court, it don't matter what the man say. They want to hear what the woman got to say. She can say you make $10 an hour. She make 20. They gonna holler, how much money you make? 20. How much money you make, sir? 10. Okay, you still got to pay $81 a week. What? How? She make $20 an hour. She make double the money I make. Well, you are the man, but according to the Willy Lynch, I'm not the man. And this is what America go by right here today.
Wow.
Y'all can believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
They go by this right now today. Everything they do with the women want equal rights. All that right now today is the same thing. Let me tell you something. If you're a woman and you're listening to this class, when God comes back, everybody got a job. The women is under the man. When Christ come back, you're not going to tell Christ, I'm not going to do this. You're going to get your whole head cut off. I put my life on it that he would cut your head off. You think you're going to go like this? Your mouth going to be caught like this. And your head going to be straight off your neck. That's how your mouth going to be when you burn it in the lake of fire. Breathe. Come on.
It says the one with the nigga male offspring, she being frozen, subconscious, fear for his life, will raise him to be mentally dependent and weak, but physically strong. In other words, body over mind. Now, in a few years, when these two offsprings become fertile for early reproduction, we will mate and breed them and continue the cycle. That is good, sound, and long-range comprehensive planning.
That's good. What did he say?
He said that is good, sound, and long-range comprehensive planning.
You see, that's the pride of Esau right there.
Wow.
He said that is good, sound, and
long-range comprehensive planning.
Now watch this, man. What time is it? What time we got? 7:30. Okay. Oh, we're gonna make this the last scripture because I'm gonna start. No, I can't do that. Okay, I'm gonna make that. That's the last thing we're gonna read tonight, right there. Anything you got to say? Anything you got to say on today's lesson so far as going into this class?
No, it was a great class.
All right, all praises. All praises. I hope y'all brothers and sisters got some out of today's class. I really do. Next week is for part 2. I'm sorry I didn't get to finish up, guys, but I did. I stayed at Jeremiah 8 and 11 for a long time. It was like 40 minutes. I could have been there with this class.
Yeah, but you had to.
You had to hit it, all right. You had to hit some things. Hey, but I'm hoping everybody enjoyed this class. Y'all got something out of this class. Part 2 next week, guys. Please support this class. Like, share. If you're not on YouTube with us, go on YouTube. We at TTIC The Truth in Christ. You got to put it in just like it. TTIC The Truth in Light. The Truth in Christ. Like, share. Get on there. Like, share. Subscribe to our channel. Please. Get on there, guys. Like, share, subscribe to our channel. It's not hard to do, brothers and sisters. Even if you already watched the class before, just go on there and subscribe for us. That's all we ask you to do. Get us up on the subscriptions. Like, share, get your people on there. They might learn something. Get your people on there. You know what I mean?
And a chance to dialogue with us on, what is it, Fridays?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that up. Yep. And but get on that YouTube, brothers and sisters. Like, share. Also on here on Facebook, get your partners, share, like, tell your people to get on here, man. Hey, hey, you can hit us up, and if you don't believe what we teaching, we will go into the scriptures with you and show you what we teaching. So get us up, good or bad. Hit us up. Also join us on Clubhouse on Fridays night. What we do last night, the
misguided teachings of Christianity.
Misguided teachings of Christianity. I don't know what we're gonna do this week yet. We ain't really talked about it. We ain't talked about it yet, but we will be talking about it soon. Hey, but last night I like that. I like that last night. It was a good little dialogue. But we need more people on there. Come and give your opinion, man.
That's right.
We're not there to bash you. Come and give your opinion, unless you're disrespectful. But come and give your opinion. We open up to hear what somebody else got to say. You know what I mean? But we're going to speak with the Bible. It's our job. But come and listen to, come and dialogue with us. Come get on there. Come and say your piece, man. You brothers in those scriptures, get on there. Get on there with us. It ain't no big thing to get on somebody's Clubhouse, is it? Shouldn't be no rule or nothing to get on the Clubhouse. You know, there's some edification going on. That should be always good.
That's right.
You're supposed to edify somebody. So get on our Clubhouse, brothers and sisters.
I know somebody got something to say.
Right. You got Officer George class pops off on Thursday. You got Officer George class popping off on Thursdays, in the afternoon. Hop on Officer George class and support him. Hey guys, we're a small group. We just trying to put our brick in. That's all we trying to do. We're not trying to be better than nobody. We're trying to be bigger than nobody. We just trying to put our brick in. Real talk. So with that, Israel, thank y'all for joining us. We are TTIC, and with that, we'll say shalom.